Hi, welcome to my dashboard view on my click view. So this is a list box which where I have if I were to select any variables from any of the table list, it will flash the current selection for me. As at there's a bottom of the search bar which will then allow me to search any variables or any data in to display on the result on my table list right here. This will be my table list which include three variables which are the romanized title, rating, and consumer advice. And also I have included a clear button in case if we were to select any unrelated variable, we will be able to clear it away and start afresh again. As as the bottom of the clear button, there is a rating list box which include of three variables which are the age advisory, general, and mature 18. So as we were to select an age advisory for the rating, the current selection will actually shows us that we have selected an age advisory on the current selection box, and also it will display the result of all the rating which are age advisory on the table list box. And also the table list box will also display a randomized title for any age advisory which is included in the rating, and also if there is any consumer advice, it will be also displayed too. So if we were to actually find out whether what is the age appropriate for parents to allow their children to play the game, we are able to click on general, which will only display all the general games which are available on the list, and also if there is any other consumer advice to be beware of for the parents concerned. So moving on to the next, um, I had actually shown I had actually shown a bar graph which will be included as a gaming platform to see the differences between each different gaming platforms on a randomized title game. For example, if we were to choose one of the game which will be Airline Tycoon, it will show that the Airline Tycoon can only be played on PC in, and not other uh, gaming platform. So whether if we are able to find out which other platform is included in different types of games, or maybe we were to compare, we can actually press a control and select two variables which will be showing out as a bar graph, which will then show us whether what kind of gaming platform can the both games actually be played on. And after that, if you have selected more than two, as you can see the current selection box, there's actually two titles which I have already selected, which then we will then remove it away by clicking on the clear button, which will be having a easier access for us. Moving on, answering the question, for example, if which gaming platform should be established as a before childcare, which will then we actually click on the rating for the general, and also click on one of the title to show that whether if the gaming platform is actually um, included in many gaming platforms within, which will then allows the place to actually promote on the games while having the gaming platform, as many different games actually have only like some of them has only like one or two, so which will not be actually included in many varieties. And then if a game which only can be included in one gaming platform, which will then not allow other gaming platforms to be played on, which will actually affect the shop from actually opening. I mean, moving on to the third sheet of my spreadsheet, uh, I have actually created a table list box, table list box of a publisher, which will then allow us to see whether which publisher we are actually wish to concern on. For example, in a table list, there's a romanized title, year release, and decision date. So if we were to see the difference between the year release and the decision date, we are able to find out whether the games has a higher decision date to actually be published on, because if the games has a longer day of publishment on the year release, it actually shows that the game isn't ready to be out yet. So from here we can actually select one of it and check whether the list of the type, the date and the year is actually has a big difference. For example, if you can see, there's one of it is called the Bruton High. It actually has released on 2013, but the release date is on 2013 when the year release is 2007, which means the game actually took around 5 years. It maybe contains some un, uncensored stuff, or maybe it's highly PG related, need parents guidance. And also after clicking on it, we actually can find out that who's the publisher for this title for this game. Actually you can see that it's actually called the Konami. As you can see, the bar chart can actually make a difference by comparing two different games within one pie chart, and we can see the difference between with our virtual aids without having a need of looking through the list of the data itself.